Hello, hello. How is everyone doing tonight? Let's see. I'm not live on my end yet. New setup, making sure everything works. It looks like the audio's working and the webcam's working. Looks like my iPad's good. Should be good. Hello from Michigan. That's my home state. Hello from Chicago, fellow Midwesterner. How's it going? Tonight I'm going to start working on this for like an hour because it's been a few weeks since I did one of my stream starting soon things. I have 3 left, and it's only fitting that today is the 25th anniversary of Neopets. So I thought I would work on a Neopet, a Bloomaroo specifically. So I'll work on this for like an hour or so, and then I'm going to do some sketch requests, unless it's just me talking to one other person, in which case I'll just keep working on this or the next stream graphic or something. New job, congratulations. Happy weekend ahead. I can't hear myself, so hopefully I'm not talking too loud. But I've noticed that my stream recordings, I'm pretty quiet, so I don't think that's a problem anyway. Neopets, yeah, throwback, huh? Throwback. I have a new mic stand in my new place, so I'm hopefully louder because it's a little bit closer to my face than the one with like the crazy claw I had at the old place, so. Oh, no worries. I wasn't even live last week. Don't worry about being busy. So who's this? So this is a Bloomaroo. He's a Neopet from Neopets, which I'm an old person. I'm 34 years old. I'm close to retirement. And I used to play a lot of Neopets. And I still play the Neopets fan site, Grundos Cafe. I'm actually going to there's like a Neopets 25th anniversary meetup thing in Chicago I'm going to tomorrow, so that'll be a lot of fun. So I'm drawing a Neopet to celebrate Neopets. This is a species of Neopet called a Bloomaroo, and I'm drawing him reading a book because that's the theme of my stream starting soon screen. And as you can see, I've finished an Animal Crossing piece, and I've finished the Beanie Babies one. I need to work on the Neopets one, Figment the Dragon, and Lady from Lady and the Tramp to cover all the bases of all the fandoms I like to usually draw from. So Neopets is more from me. That's like nobody else really cares about Neopets art, but I care deeply, so that's what I'm going to work on for the next hour or so. I worked on the sketch a little bit before stream to clean it up. As you can see, the original rough sketch is on the right. I added a smile. I cleaned up the lines a little bit, so I'm going to use this as the base for the shapes I make. Let's start with the head here. And I have it set to yellow, but it occurred to me that yellow might not be the right color choice against the already yellow background. So we'll experiment with a few colors, because really this Neopet can be any color. There's all sorts of colors on Neopets. So I can kind of get funky with it and make it something different. I was going for one of the default colors, which one of the default Neopet colors would be red, green, blue, and yellow. And of those 4, I liked how yellow looked the best. But now I'm not crazy about it yellow on yellow. It could contrast a bit more. So what's everyone up to this weekend? Like I said, I'm doing that Neopets anniversary meetup thing tomorrow, which should be a good old time. Maybe grab some falafel downtown or something. I'm excited to meet other ancient people who still think about Neopets, like me, honestly. Some other 30-something-year-olds who still think about and play like Neopets. I don't play Neopets.com Neopets, but I play the fan site, so. I'll change the background color. So I can't change the background color because it's going to be part of this larger piece here, which this is based on like little golden books and kind of the repeating patterns of pictures that would be in the inside of little golden books for kids. So I want to keep that like warm yellow background color. However, I have tinted it slightly more orange, as you can see, and this one's like a little bit more orange tinted for the final piece. So I guess I could make it a little warmer or cooler, but it's basically going to stay that, just to match the kind of overall theme. But I can play with the colors of the Bloomaroo himself. You're in the bush? How's that out there? Alright, I already drew the head shape, so let's do the body underneath. We'll do the arms on their own layers. And the feet on their own layers as well. And this is a pretty simple piece, so it shouldn't take too long to do anyway. I might actually be done with it by the end of this hour, so we'll see. We'll see how progress goes. Maybe make the yellow lighter. Yeah, we'll toy around with it in a little bit. I'm just putting down blocks of color right now, and then we can do some experimentation. That's the fun part. Once I get all the shapes done here, I'm just using literally whatever color that I feel like. Let's do the feet. And then do the little heart-shaped pads on the feet. On a clipping mask. Fill in these little tiny areas here. Yeah, when we get to colors, we'll mess around with some stuff. Clipping mask. Let's lower the opacity here. I'm banging the Apple Pencil, like keeps hitting the side of the mic, so sorry if that's really loud on your guys' end. I'm getting used to the new little mic stand instead of the big clippy one I had before. I kind of want to square off the heart so it's not so round and perfect. We'll see how that looks in a second when I make it full opacity. But not a super perfect rounded heart shape. Let's raise up the opacity and see what we're doing here. I like this one right away. This one I don't like as much, so we're going to fix it to look more like the other one. I like how it doesn't necessarily match the foot, though I might square off the toes a little bit just to match a little bit better. But I like that it's not a perfect, like, Valentine's heart. Just a little bit wonky. Are all the Neopet species made from animals? Some are like the loop is just a wolf. So some of them are not very creative in that regard. The loop is one of the more popular species. Oh, I had the eraser set to the wrong brush. That's fun. And then like Bloomeroo doesn't really look like any kind of real animal. I mean, I guess it's a kangaroo, I suppose, but I mean, what is that with the nose like that? It's kind of its own thing, which is part of why I like the Bloomeroo, is because it doesn't really look like anything in the real world. It's kind of its own thing. The Cougar is just a tiger. The Aisha is like an alien cat, so that's one of the more unique looking ones, I guess. That's also like, if I had to pick a Neopet to represent Neopets, it would be an Aisha or a Bloomeroo. They're just classic to me. And then my favorite is the Lutari, which is just an otter. It's not very creative, but otters are my favorite animal, so of course that's gonna be my favorite. But I do love a Bloomeroo as well. I'll do a silly video like touring my Grundos Cafe account sometime, because I have like a whole theme of like, I have all the colors of pets that look like real animals. So like if there is a color of Loop that's colored like a wolf, or that's a bad example because I don't have that. But like my main pet is a Lutari, which is an otter, and he's painted brown because that looks like a river otter color. So I have like the more natural colored pets. I'll show y'all some other day. And here, let's do this leg shape. Actually, the leg should go under the belly. Like that. Or you know what? I think I'll do the leg and the body all in one layer, and then I'll just define that with like some lines on another layer. I think that's better to match what's underneath. Let me fix the shape of these feet to be a little bit less perfectly rounded too, just to match. I want it almost to look like shapes you'd kind of cut out with like kid scissors on construction paper or something, is kind of the feeling. So it's not totally perfect. Not that it was perfect to begin with, but you know, not super round and precise. A little choppy. Because I like that look. The nose could be inspired by the Baku's nose in real life. Yeah, I mean, that's true. How many more species? Actually, there's only like, I want to say like 55 or 60 species. So I could do, it would be a series that only me and like 5 other people on the planet would care about. But I could do like drawing every Neopet species. Where it gets intense is there's a lot of different colors, and some of the colors are not just like purple, orange, white, like their whole other poses. Like they have fairy wings, they have mutant pets that look completely different than the normal ones. Like, so I could get into drawing every color of every pet, and that would probably be like 1,000 or something at this point, but I'm not doing that. But I could do like a basic color of every pet as like a drawing challenge, and I would actually really like that. But again, it's only me and like 5 other people on the planet who would care. But then again, am I really doing anything for views anyway? So maybe I should just do it. Because I would get a thrill out of it. I would love to do that. Years and years ago, I used to volunteer. I did Pixel, or not Pixel, I did Adoptables on Sunny Neo, which is like a Neopets fan website that used to be pretty popular. And I did some like Lutari and Skeeth, which is another like, it's like a chubby dragon species. I did like art of all the different colors of them at the time and put them up as adoptables on Sunny Neo. So that was my volunteer art I did. Like probably 10 years ago or more now. Some ancient history. So I did some Neopets art forever and ever ago. You would watch it? I would like to watch that. You know what? Maybe I should, because I haven't made like a video in way too long. And now that I'm like moved and whatever, yada yada, I don't have any excuses to not get into the groove of like making stuff. So, you know, no guarantees, because every time I promise I'm going to do something on this channel, it like doesn't happen. But it would be nice to make a series of drawing every species of Neopet and like talking about my feelings about each species of Neopet. Because I care about Neopets deeply. It's something I love. Me and all the 30-somethings on YouTube would probably love it. Because it is very much an old people thing. Because Neopets.com kind of is like broken. Like the website just straight up doesn't work most of the time. It's held together by duct tape and the community. That's just, it's like the only reason Neopets exists is the community is thriving. But the site is very much broken and not even fun to play, which is why I play the fan site that's like a recreation of the good old days of it. I don't even play Neopets.com, to be honest. Will there only be 3 live streams left for the year? No. I'll try to do them every single week, like I was doing for a minute, and then I moved, so I didn't feel like doing it last week because I was like surrounded by cardboard boxes and just didn't have the mental clarity and space needed to like sit and do a stream. Though my setup now is very funny. So what you should know about me is I love sitting cross-legged on the floor. Like that's my most comfortable state of being. So I was like, why don't I just ditch the desk thing and I just get a floor desk? So I looked into it and I got like this fold up, like it's basically just a folding coffee table. I have my laptop and my mic and my ring light all set up on it. And I have a chair that, I don't know if you can't see it, whatever, but it just looks like a standard office chair, except it just doesn't have legs on it. So it has the ergonomic back and it has the seat like a regular office chair, but it just doesn't have legs on it. So if I need to stand up and get something in the middle of the stream, do not be alarmed. I'm not standing on my office chair. It just looks crazy because I'm on the floor, but it's actually very comfortable. And I have a heated blanket under me, so it's kind of like a makeshift kotatsu table kind of thing, which is nice. So I'm weirdly very comfortable with this setup. I used to draw a lot as a kid on my floor, like sitting cross-legged with like a stack of printer paper on like a hardcover book or like a binder from school, and just sitting cross-legged and drawing. So this is very like my zone of how I like to draw. So I'm feeling very at ease and at home with this weird little office setup. Works for me. So, and it was slightly cheaper than, actually a lot cheaper than getting like a full-blown desk and office chair and all that kind of stuff. And the pain in the neck of like building all of it and moving it up the stairs, and you know, it was so much nicer to just set up a little. And it all folds up. Like the office chair folds in half too, and I can just slide it in the closet or something and hide it. It's nice. All right. I feel like I get more done when I'm on autopilot and talking sometimes because I just didn't even like process the fact that I did all that just now. And yet it got done. So thanks for asking me things to keep me yapping because it seems to work. All right, and I guess this just needs to be on a layer underneath the head, so I guess it could be on this layer as well. And these colors are atrocious, but they will be changed pretty soon here, so have no fear. I'm almost done with the basic shapes here. Will not be long. All right, and then we want to do, I think it's just the glasses and then the line details. So let's lower the opacity of this. And the hands as well. All right. Yeah, so let's do the glasses. And I'll make these perfectly oval to start, and then I'll chip away at them to make them a little uneven to match the heart feet. I'd like to do some, like, I don't know, cute, cozy, like holiday themed streams for Christmas time. It is the season and all. I was gonna do a Thanksgiving stream, but it's like, what's there to do? Like, draw a turkey? Like, who cares? Thanksgiving is such a, like, boring holiday to me. Some people live for it, but there's no festivity. I'm a Halloween and Christmas girl. I don't get excited about Thanksgiving, you know? I don't think I have anything planned this year for Thanksgiving anyway. Order a bunch of Thai food, perhaps. I don't know. That sounds good, actually. Maybe I'll do that. I mean, that's American Thanksgiving. I don't know what everybody else is doing in November. The Halloween live stream. Yeah, it was chill. It was chill. I did some like spooky requests. I did a couple, I think. I can't remember which ones I did. Let's see. I forgot already. What did I do? I finished Pumpkaboo up here. That was the first one I did. Then I did Jack Skellington, kind of in the style of Tim Burton did these books forever ago. This poetry book called like The Melancholy Tale of Oyster Boy, and the illustration style was like this. I want to finish this piece sometime. Not this week, but another week. Fan art of Shipwreck 64, this like indie horror game. I thought would be cool. And it came up on the random spinner thing anyway. And I did Phantom. The name escaped me for a second. Sorry, Pokemon fans. And then I started but didn't finish this similar Night Before Christmas, the snake eating the Christmas tree, just because I think it's funny. So that's what I did for Halloween. It was pretty cool. Where's the Bloomeroo? Right here. The whole family don't do it. Yeah, my family doesn't do like anything for the holidays anymore. For years it was like, let's do Christmas at my grandpa's house, and then when he passed it was like, okay, let's do Christmas at my aunt's house. And then since COVID, it's like everybody's family does like their own like little micro Christmas for just like their immediate family, and it's kind of just stayed that way, which is fine. Like, I miss it sometimes, but it's also like a pain to like go home for Christmas and get gifts, and you know, it's kind of a pain. So whatever, I'll miss it more maybe when it's been like, you know, 10 years since I've had a family Christmas, but it doesn't really bother me any, to be honest. As long as my niece is getting spoiled with Christmas gifts, that's all that matters to me. Because I'm at the age now where I don't want like gifts except like food or like, you know, tickets for something, experiences. Old people don't want gifts. At least I don't. Or money. Money's cool. If you hand me $10, that's sweet. And yeah, you're Australian, so you wouldn't be doing American Thanksgiving anyhow. Are there any like Australian holidays at the end of the year that people don't know about? 'Cause I don't think so, but I know Canadians do their Thanksgiving in like October. Um, so I don't know if there's any like autumnal event happening in Australia that I don't know about. Why did I put this on the same layer as the glass? I guess it doesn't matter for this layer. But we do want to do a new layer for the bridge of the glasses. Ooh, I like that shape actually. Let's keep that. And we'll do one more. Excuse me, I got the hiccups from this San Pellegrino is very good, but you know, I talked about like I can't handle orange. For some reason this goes down fine. This is like a blood orange San Pellegrino. Doesn't bother me any. I think it has to be like real orange juice for it to upset my stomach or something. But that is delightful. I just want an actual door fully locked to have some privacy. You live in a garage that was turned into a room. It sounds like one of those cool rooms you'd see on like I don't know, like a Drake and Josh or like I don't know, but like a kid's show where it's like, oh, the attic got converted into the room, but it's the garage. Sounds kind of cool. It could be different in real life, but in my mind it sounds cool. Though I had a friend of mine who lived in an attic and it was really, really cool the way he had it set up. There was like fabric tapestries all over and lots of warm lighting and string lights. It was very like magical type of room. It was like a sitcom or Hey Arnold type of, I don't know, very whimsical, magical type of room. I was always jealous of it. Do some fingers here. Clean that up a bit. Let's lower the opacity on this tail so I can see what I'm doing down here. Let's just do, yeah, to separate the belly. Something like that. Yeah, there we go. And now we can get into the part where we fix all these horrible colors. Layer by layer. Let's make sure all the opacity is turned up on everything. Okay, I think that does it. I want to do clipping masks for the ears and the nose. So let's go into that. Let's do a clipping mask here. Quickly lower the opacity so I can see. And I'm just gonna, I have to go and erase some of that in a second, but we'll set that there. Whoops, wrong layer. Then the nose here. It's not clear what I'm doing yet, but you'll see. It's just painting in. Yeah. Those areas of color that are different on the tip where it's pink. And that does have to be some shade of pink to be true to like what a bloomeroo looks like. That's what they look like across all different colors. So that does have to be some shade of pink. It doesn't have to be necessarily like a baby pink the way I have it, but I do want to keep that true to what the bloomeroo looks like. And they have pink noses and pink ends on their ears. So we're going to keep that. Ooh, and then fix this so there's a little bit of a overlapping line here. No matter what my setup is, I still migrate away from the mic. I don't know what that's about. I thought maybe it would be different with a different setup, but alas. Alright, now we can really get talking about these colors. Let's get rid of that sketch layer. I want to fix one small thing here. right here. Okay, otherwise that looks pretty good. Maybe clean this up. Right here. And the book I want to clean up just a smidge. Okay. And what I want to do really quick is I want to bring in inch, because I want to make sure that my colors match or like are harmonious with the other things that are on the stream starting soon screen, which is the final home of this guy. So I want to make sure that the colors I pick are not necessarily matching this, but like gel well with this, you know? So that's kind of the palette. There's the full rainbow there. What layer did I just put that random line on? Okay. Let's get rid of that. And I think we're going to just hide that blue maroon layer for now, because none of those colors have to be the same. And then, all right, alpha lock. We're just going to start with, let's try blue. Let's do a blue maroon. And we can always change this, but just a starting point. Let's do a darker shade of blue for here. Alpha lock. Let's do a shade of pink for the ears. Let's try this kind of salmon-y pink. Ooh, that doesn't really look good on the yellow, does it? Let's try. Okay, that stands out a little better, maybe a little bit darker. Okay, that's not bad. I kind of like that. Alright, and we're going to use a similar blue here. Or the same blue, rather, and then we're going to just tint it a little bit at the bottom just to separate that from the tail a smidge. Same deal with the feet. Alright, the feet should be a little bit lighter, perhaps. I'm actually not hating the blue, because it works well with the yellow, I think. And I think we'll get some really fun colors with that Stickman brush, which I'm going to try here in a minute. I'm actually not upset about that at all. I like the warm pink with it, though. That, see how that clashes against that light blue? So maybe I need to bring this and lighten this a little bit on the, yeah. It weirdly looks like recessed into the blue just because of how it clashes against that shade of blue. It's interesting. Maybe really light on the feet. Yeah, that looks much better. And kind of fade it out to be a little bit darker on the bottom. And we can toy with that too. That looks a little better. And the head, also blue. I'm kind of into the blue bloomeroo. I didn't think I would be for some reason, but you like the blue? Yeah, I'm into it. Might just rock with the blue, but we're gonna experiment with that Stickman brush. In a minute as well. We're gonna do the same color of, maybe we just do the same color book, so they're all reading Apple Volume 1 or whatever. Apple Volume 4. Same colors. Do that, then we'll do a clipping mask for the shadow color. Right there. It's a blue maroon, ha ha ha. Alright. Now, for the shading, I guess I could just do it slightly darker on the bottom. I think I'll do that. Something like this. But I want to mess around with the shade of blue here. Quickly, let's try this beautiful Stickman brush and see what kind of color variation we get. Ooh, that's pretty. Make it a little smaller and softer.
and have it all go in the same direction. I think that looks cool. That's interesting, but I kind of want to soften it. Yeah, so some of that texture is still in there, but all right. And then let's try a clipping mask again. Love clipping masks. Get that chalk and then a darker color on the bottom, because we don't want it to blend into the body visually there. Let's see, is that dark enough to stand out if I zoom way out? Maybe it could be a smidge darker. Something like this. And now we need a lighter color on top, because see how that's like. Or you know what I could do? I could also lighten up the body. So let's do that same thing with the Stickman brush. See all those beautiful, like, I think this works, like the Stickman brush works really well with cool tones like green, blue, purple. You get all these beautiful variations of color in here that I think are really nice. That adds a lot of texture to it. I like that light blue. Bring that back. Okay. Just want a hint of that light blue to sample there. We're going to do another clipping mask. Bring in some of that light blue. Maybe not that dramatic, because that's a little dramatic, I think. The pink markings to purple. I like the pink on the ears. I'm not crazy about the feet, so maybe I could tint those purple. I do want to keep them more or less pink, just because that's true to like what the Bloomeroo looks like. So something in the pink family, but it could be cooler or warmer, so we'll mess around with that. I'm liking actually the dark blue ear specifically with that darker pink. Let's try lightening and cooling off the other pinks though, like the nose and the more forward ear and the feet. I think that could be interesting. Sorry if I just hit the mic with my pencil there. And just softening that texture so there's still a little bit of it in there. Maybe reduce that a little. Just soften up that belly where it's a little too crazy. That looks alright. Though this arm still needs something. Maybe it does need a highlight. I don't want it to look too like 3D. I still want it to look flat, you know? I want it to have like a flat cutout sort of look, but I want you to be able to see where the arms start and stop. Yeah, because I think that's veering on too 3D there. So what could we do to make that stand out? I guess bring more of that light to the body. I think that's okay. And then I could bring that shadow underneath the head. Something like that. I don't think that's bad. Cheek markings or circles. I think a little blush would be cute. Yeah, like a little pink or pinker, warmer, like blush spot would be cute. So I'll try that in a minute, yeah. Alright, we'll come back to that because I want to think on that for a minute. Let's do the same treatment to the tail and the head with that Stickman brush to get some of that texture in. And have it all kind of flow the same way. Ooh, I liked when it had that like pink purple in there. Bring that back, bring that back. Yeah, right there. That pinky purple is really cool. Ooh, that's a little bit too small pieces. The trouble with a random brush is it's random. Like it has pressure sensitivity. If you push hard, it gives you solid chunks like that. So there's some control you have over it, but the colors it gives you are kind of random. So it's a little tricky to get exactly what you want with it. So I want big pieces like that. All right, I think that's cool. Soften it up with a wash of the actual color. And then again, clipping mask so we don't affect anything underneath. Get that darker color underneath, shadow, to help distinguish that from the tail. I think that looks kind of cool. Zoom out, okay. If you zoom out, the tail looks separate from the body, so that's a good thing. Like it looks beneath that layer. That's cool. So we'll keep that. Do the same treatment on the feet. Then I'm going to select the lighter blue here. Ooh, I kind of like that green it's shooting out, that like seafoam green. That's interesting. Yeah, a little bit extra green on that. That is cool. And then soften it. I don't want to take away all that green though, because I think that's a fun little color to bring in. So just kind of lightly wash over it with the actual color we want. Though that's a little too light on the yellow. That's a little jarring on the yellow background, so we're going to bring in some more of the base color, I think, to that. Maybe something in between. That's a little better. I wasn't liking how the light blue looked against the yellow. It was kind of awkward looking. Okay, I like that. That's doing something for me. Take some of that green actually and bring more of that in. I really like that. That adds a nice fun color to it. Do a little wash of blue. Okay, that is cool. Now, let's do something with this pink on the feet and see if tinting it like a little cooler is more interesting. Let's tint it almost purple. How do we feel about the cooler pink? The coolest I would go before it starts to get purple is like here I would say it's just purple. But like maybe a little bit more pink, like that's kind of interesting with that blue and the green. Let's try Stickman on one of these. That's interesting. Like the pink purple mix. $50-50. I kind of like this on the feet. It's interesting, the pink and purple. It's just I want to get it a nice blend of that cool and the warm pink. I kind of like that, where that's at. You like the old color? The warmer? Alright, let's try the Stickman, but with like, just warm it up a bit. So it's like peachy. Ooh, it's got some like warm yellows and oranges in there. Now that is kind of nice. Because you get a little bit of that cool, a little bit of this like gold color in here. This like peach. I think that's really nice actually. So let's select that peachy color and do the same. I like the chunks of like yellow, pink, and purple together. I think that's really cool. I like a happy little color accident. That's why I love this brush so much, because it comes up with colors that I would have never thought to use in a million years. It helps do some of the thinking for me, but you still have to like make a decision, you know? I like the accidental like swipe of gold there. I think that's interesting. The peach, yeah, the peach. That peachy tone. Let's bring in, I don't want to take away too much of that gold. Actually, let's just cut to the chase. Sample some of this like warm peach. Like bring that in over top of this cooler. Make it a little bit peachier. Yeah, the peach is cool. I'm into that. I like the little baby hint of gold in there and a little bit of the purple. I think that makes it a little more harmonious. What do we think? I think that's kind of cool. So let's try a peach on the ear. I'm most curious about the one that's like closer to the camera. So let's start with a peach. Let's stick man it up. Let's see what we get. Let's get a bigger, chunkier version. I like the yellow that comes through. It helps it like harmonize with the background a little bit as well to bring in that gold. But see how it's like getting lost. How can we fix this? Let's see. Let's try a light, bright peach tone. Ooh, that's kind of fun. It's still kind of getting lost on the yellow, but it's better. Let's try a dark peach. Is there such a thing? Let's do like almost like a mauve. Ooh, that's interesting. I'm just swiping till I find one that looks good to me. That's not bad. I don't like the teeny tiny little. Okay. That's something. I don't like how it goes different directions at the bottom there, though. Just keep swiping. It's like pulling a slot machine sometimes. Finesse it. It's a little too purple. How do I warm it up a smidge? See if I press it like this, I get these big chunky, like glitch looking shapes. Light touch. Let's do something that just adds a bunch of texture, and then we'll do like a dark peach over top. Okay, that's a nice texture. I'm going to sample the same color from the foot. I said same color from the foot. Let's go with this. And then maybe just make it a smidge darker. I don't hate that. I don't think it pops from the background, but we're going to try something. I'm just going to reduce the opacity and lighten this up just a smidge. I don't want it to be too different because the whole thing is about it being like a little golden book. Here's it at 100%. If I just take it to like 90%, just soften up that yellow just a tad. Though, will it match the other two? You know what? Let's try this color. How do I save it? Value. Select all. Copy. Let's see how the color from the Molly one looks with the blue and the pink and all that, because I would like it to be harmonious. Oops. 100%. Is that the same color? It literally is the same color. Okay, great. No, it's not. It's a smidge brighter. Okay. Huh. Well, the blue still looks good. I think it reads. It's okay. You know what I do want to do, though, is minimize the look of this line, because it doesn't need to go all the way down the ear like that. It's just there. The function of it is to separate the overlapping part of the ear, so it doesn't need to be all the way down. It can just be like that little piece like that. And similarly, I can make this a little smaller and more subtle too. Like that. Almost. I was like, what time is it? Almost at the hour mark, and then I'll start doing sketches. I can always come back to this another day too. But I mean, pretty good progress for an hour, if I do say so myself. Let's go back to the disc. Let's do this. I like this way of color picking better. Let's blend that into the black of the smile just so it's not such a harsh transition. There. The tip of the nose here, we're going to change the color of as well. Where is this blue coming from? Is it because this is like alpha locked? What is the deal? Okay, well, fixed it. Let's do that. It's 12:15 here in the bush. Yeah, it's 7:15 for me, 8:15 for Eastern, which is where I try to set my time zone and keep the Eastern time zone in mind. I like to make sure it's not too late for Eastern time zone America, not too early for Pacific, so somewhere in the middle. But it's 7:16 p.m. here. And I don't know if y'all do daylight savings time in Australia, but here in the States, we are suffering the sun setting at 5 p.m. It is our winter. I know it's backwards there, or the other way around. I shouldn't say backwards. It's just the opposite. But we are going through it. With the 5 p.m. Sunset, it is brutal. It feels like 2 in the morning right now, to be honest. Sun starts going down at like 4 o'clock. It's no good. Let's do this peach color again. Daylight savings time should be abolished anyway. Nobody wants the sun to go down at 4 p.m. And I love nighttime and I love wintertime and all that, but even I am like, this is like brutal. Let's do a little bit deeper, darker. Maybe sample the color from this here. You do daylight savings too? I wasn't sure who did and didn't do it, you know. Americans love to assume that everything that happens in America happens everywhere else too. So I'm trying not to make that mistake of being like, oh wait, you guys don't do daylight savings time? Doesn't everybody? But that's interesting, you do it too. Yeah, it's your summer though, right? If I know anything from Animal Crossing, it's northern and southern hemisphere is flipped for the seasons. We're getting into the cold weather here. Had like my first legitimate day where I was like actually feeling too cold to be outside this last week. It wasn't even that cold. It was like 48 Fahrenheit. I don't know how much that is in Celsius. I'm sorry. I think 10 Celsius is 50 Fahrenheit. Something like that. But it wasn't even that cold. But it was the first day of the year where I was like, ooh, brr. So we're getting into it now. Though the last like 3 or so winters in Chicago have been pretty mild, and the stereotype is that Chicago winters are really, really brutal. Now, I grew up in Michigan, which is also the Midwest, so it's not that much different of a climate, but being on like closer to Lake Michigan, it gets a little colder too. But we've been very lucky, knock on wood, that it's been very mild. So here's hoping the streak continues. Either that or we're overdue and it's going to be really brutal this year. Here I am, old woman talking about the weather. This is what I do. All right, we're going to take this blue and lighten it up. It's raining like crazy because of the sun. Sorry, I zoned out for a second here. Like sun showers, or it's just like, I wonder, is it like monsoon weather like in Florida when I used to live in Florida? They would just have random, just complete chaotic downpours and it would be fine like maybe 30 minutes later. Wonder if that looks okay for a glasses shine. It's not bad. Maybe do like white in the middle. Really make it look shiny, yeah. Maybe just on that one. That looks alright, that looks shiny. All right. What else do I want to do? Oh yeah, the head, the biggest shape besides the body. Let's do some of that stickman action. Maybe not that big. Maybe not that small, somewhere in the middle. I want to try to get some of the greener blues on the left side and then some of the purples on the right side. It's kind of luck of the draw, so I might have to paint them in manually, but if I can get a few chunks that look like that, more or less, that would be cool. I think that's a good amount of texture, actually. If you couldn't tell, I'm back in the city. I don't know if you can hear the siren outside. Reading randomly, like, this Wednesday it was a storm that happened randomly after school. Yeah. That sounds kind of like Florida as far as, like, it just kind of comes out of nowhere and it's super heavy. And then it's over before you know it. It's kind of fun. Not so fun to get caught in it the first time if you're not used to it. Because I didn't know what to expect. I thought we were having like a hurricane or something the first time it happened to me when I was in Florida. Just out of nowhere, perfect, beautiful, sunny skies turned into just like dark, dark gray downpour. I'm like, what is happening? That just kind of happens there. Let's actually do a clipping mask. Another one. Let's do the same like greener blue with the chalk brush. We might pull that back to make that less predominant here, but just to carve out a shape of light. I think that's alright. Again, don't want it to look too 3D. I still want that nice kind of flat shape look. But it's alright to have a highlight of color. It's looking alright, though. It's kind of like a jean texture. It's like denim. He looks like a denim bloomeroo. So we're just going to roughly paint over. It's almost purple now. Maybe make him a smidge more blue. Yeah, that's alright. I'm kind of losing all that texture in the process, but I like the color he is, so that's okay. I can do another layer of texture on top. Stickman's just kind of a starting point anyway. It did get kind of flattened out, so let's actually do yet another clipping mask just to add some of that texture back in and then maybe lower the opacity. Just to get some of that grit back in. Just so I can see it. On my end I can see it. Let me see. On OBS I can see that texture. I think that's nice. Let me just lower it a smidge. I'm not crazy about what it's doing by the cheek here, so I'm going to very lightly erase that. Then I want to do some little pink cheeks anyway, because I thought that was a good idea. So let's do on a new layer. Let's do it with the chalk brush, and we're just going to go in with the same pink as the ear. And really softly get that in. I might lower the opacity too to make it not so bright like a spotlight, but a little more subtle. Something like that, or maybe it should be a darker pink. I kind of like it very light like that. What do we think? I'm going to zoom way out. Yeah, I like it. Even from way in this teeny little size, I can see it. But it's not taking over. It's not, if it was like, If it was like the same intensity as the eyes, it would be kind of a problem, I think. So something like that. Yeah, I'm about it. I'm into it. I'm actually really into the shades of pink and blue that I have on the behind ear. I do want to try right here a little bit of the Stickman brush just for texture's sake. But I want to keep it nice and dark like that because I really like that actually. Just a little texture. That's cool. And then similarly, for whatever reason, I really like the darker, like coral here. So I'm going to keep that, but I just want to texture it up a little bit. Hold on, I'm going to sample this color so I don't mess it up. Yeah, I like that. I like the dark, like it's pushed back in the background a little bit. I don't know why I'm into it, but I'm into it. And these ears are slightly different shapes, which I'm not upset about, but this line is a little too wonky for my liking here. Like that. A little bit smoother. Whoop. That's cool. Excuse me. Though I am going to round out the edge here so it matches the other ear a little bit better. They don't need to be a perfect match, but let's see. 1 minute left till an hour. Maybe some texture will make it better. Yeah, I like the dark, but I'm okay. One little thing that's bothering me is I don't like the bit of green right here. And then I'm also going to do a layer of like texture and color over everything that'll kind of harmonize everything, I think. And yeah, it's been an hour, but one more little adjustment here. I want to blend this into the color of the head a little bit better. And I might finish this on my own time off stream as well, but this is a pretty good start. Pretty good start. BRB. Okay. Let me finish up. Where is it? The nose. Right here. I'll try something real quick. I like the darker for the nose because it'll stand against the yellow. Let's try that. Yeah, kind of blending both of those together I think is alright. And it keeps some of the texture in too, if I do it that way. And last little adjustment for now. I'm going to make the bridge of these pair of glasses gold, same as this one. Nice little gold shine there. Then I want to make these lines a little more subtle as well. think that's not bad. I am concerned that the glasses are taking too much attention because they're more detailed than the dot eyes, but I don't want to add highlights to the dot eyes because I want to keep the same look as I did with Inch the Worm here with the very simple eyes. So maybe I take away the shine on the glasses or make it simpler. Or make the color of the glasses a little more subtle. And just do like something simpler like so. That's okay. Maybe even some of the blue peeks through a little bit by, I just layer it on top and then pull it back with the opacity. I got an idea. I want to make these glasses a little bit see-through. Not totally. Maybe that's a little too complex for what I'm going for. Just a little see-through. I think that's alright. The hand for me is still getting a little lost. The arm. This might be something I ponder off stream and refine myself. It's one little thing I wanted to do. I keep saying one more thing. One more thing and then I'll start doing sketch requests, I think. Take a swig of my drink here. Alright, I think this is a good stopping point. I'm gonna mess around with this stuff off stream. Let me get him nice and big here. And then hide Inch for a minute. But I think this is a good stopping point. Let me take a swig of my drink for a sec. It's been a little over an hour. This is a good point to stop. I'll puzzle through this on my downtime this weekend. And then when he's done to my satisfaction, I'll post him and put him in the stream starting soon graphic. But I think this is a pretty good amount of progress for about an hour. I want to mess with the tail a little bit just looking at it. I want to mess with the arm, make sure it stands out without looking 3D. It's all right, let's do some sketches. One moment here. All right. 10 by 10 canvas. I have my random list picker page ready. Can I add Burpee from Slugterra? I sure will. Let's see. Burpee, Slugterra. Burpee, Slugterra. I don't know what that is, but I'll Google it if it gets picked. And I'll add that to the list on my desktop as well as the list that I'm rolling from in a second here. All right, I'm going to pick a random item. Drum roll. Disney's Pinocchio. Guess that's what we're drawing. I don't know who requested that, but it's funny. I never remember who requested what. Okay. We'll make this a real quick, like, warm-up sketch, you know? All right. Pinocchio. Disney. Show me the boy. Google Images. I've got no strings to hold me down. Da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da. Let's see. I'm gonna do him in the cage with the nose with the leaves growing out of it with the nest. I think that's kind of funny. Nest, nose, where he's stuck in Stromboli's cage. It's kind of funny. Alright, I'll open this ref in a new tab. And then one more ref for the character. Slugterra is a TV show. Yeah, I'm not familiar with it, but if it gets picked on the list, I'll Google it and figure it out. Same with, I didn't know what the Monster High doll was the one week. Like, I was familiar with Monster High as a concept, but like, I didn't like play with the dolls or watch the shows or anything. So, and that Dota character, I spent like 3 streams doing too. Don't know anything about the game or the character. All right. We're going to make this kind of silly. Because I'm not looking up detailed ref of what Stromboli's cage looks like to get like the ins and outs of it. So we're just going to kind of roughly do it. Because I think it'll be funny. His face is kind of stuck between 2 bars. Like somewhere in here. You're gonna go? Alright, peace. Have a good rest of your day. And I'll see you on the next one. Hoodwink? Yeah. I don't know anything about Hoodwink or Dota. But the character was cute and I felt like doing it, so. And felt about attention span. That's where I'm at most of my day. I struggle to work on personal projects for that reason. Okay. I think I could even go wackier with like the shapes. I'm gonna really like just. He has one of his little wooden legs dangling out of the cage, maybe. I hope the person who requested Pinocchio is okay with the fact that I'm doing, like, him suffering in Stromboli's cage. And getting really wacky with the look of it, too. He's still got little wooden boy arms. What do his arms look like? They have like weird little round joints. In classic Disney glove style. Let's make these bars a little wider for the sake of being able to see what's going on here. Oh, you know what's even better? Forget this. I want to do, because it used to scare me as a kid, was the donkey Pinocchio. As much as I do like the gag with like the nest on the nose, I think the donkey Pinocchio is going to be cuter to draw. Maybe I just draw him in straight up donkey form. No, that's cheating. We're going to do the half donkey Pinocchio. Because it used to scare me a lot as a kid. Stick him in the cage. Yeah, we're just doing the tortured Pinocchio. We're not doing him happy or like anything like that. Right, that's a pretty good ref, actually. But like that put me off smoking for my whole life too, where he turns green from the cigar smoke too. Like all of it was so frightening to me. Him when he's a donkey is very cute though. He should have just stayed that way, to be honest. A little donkey with the little sailor suit or the little Pinocchio. Lampwick as a donkey's cute. Yeah, we'll do Pinocchio with the donkey ears and tail freaking out. I only want to do Pinocchio if he's suffering. I don't in the cage. Hey, how's it going? Going well. I just finished, or not finished, but I like 95% finished a Bloomaroo for my stream starting soon graphic. In honor of it's the 25th anniversary of Neopets today. So did that for about an hour. Now I'm doing sketch requests, and the one that came up was Disney's Pinocchio. I did start drawing him in like Stromboli's cage, but then I changed gears when I remembered the whole scene where he's like turning into a donkey and he's freaking out. Maybe I'll do him pulling on his ears and like going, oh no. He has like a big baby doll head. Very classic Disney. Looks like a big like cherub. I don't know what I'm drawing over here. Just big baby head. Oops, that eraser is not set to a real brush. It's set to chalk. Let's take care of that. There we go. Ah, yes, torture the puppet. Exactly. I started drawing him in Stromboli's cage, and now I got him as the donkey. And we're going to get kind of wacky with it. We're not paying attention to if he's totally on model or not, but I want to be in the ballpark, you know. Sorry if I keep tapping the microphone. I got a new setup and I'm in a new place, and I'm getting used to the closeness of the mic to my my Apple Pencil here, so I keep tapping it. I hope it doesn't make like an obnoxious sound on your guys' end. His wood nose is kind of small when he's not lying. I want to make him look distressed. Something like that. Get that hair in. Maybe he's got one ear up so you can tell what he is. He's got... And his hat's still on in this rough I'm seeing. A little feather. I want him to be kind of like tugging on his ear, like, what is going on? Because the rough I'm looking at, he's pulling on his tail, but I want to make it a little different than the rough. Same idea, where he's like, what on earth is happening to me? I got no strings to hold me down. I was thinking about the other day that whole era of Disney World where Michael Eisner was in charge, and they had like all the nightclubs that were Pleasure Island themed at the Disney Walk or whatever, where all it is now is just like chain restaurants and AMC theater and stuff and like a Disney store. I'm like, that was so genius to have like a Pleasure Island themed like adult Disney nightclub area. Like, that's so good. I'm shocked and appalled that it's no longer there now that I'm an adult. 'Cause I would have partied hard. That is such a good idea. Yeah, they had the tie-in with McDonald's, so it was Mac Tonight, huh? It's Mac Tonight. But yeah, that whole concept is just genius. I don't know why they don't do stuff like that. I like Disney's been like completely, not that it was ever like edgy and for adults, but like they made an effort in the 90s to cater to like teens and young adults and families. And now it's just like all for kids or people who want to pretend they're kids. And it's, listen, I love theme parks. I love Disney theme parks, but come on. We want to drink and we want to party in elaborately themed nightclubs, you know. They should, you know, just do full on Pleasure Island where they have buildings that you can like throw rocks at and stuff. Like, why not? Like a Disney themed rage room. I think we all need that. How are his like wood joints? I'm not seeing that in the ref. I'm just gonna guess, you know. Maybe he's like holding his head like, oh my god. Now, what can he be doing with his other hand? Let me think. Yeah, maybe he's gripping his face. Like, oh my god. Though we did have the whole thing where like Michael Eisner destroyed the People Mover in California because he wanted to turn it into a thrill ride. So like there were some missteps. But I had a cousin who recently went to I have a cousin who recently went to Disney World. And like I don't get these people, like no shade to my cousin, who spend like thousands of dollars to like plan this big family trip and they don't like look up what the attractions are before they go to see if they'd like be into it or not. It's, you know? So she's like, everything there was stupid. I'm like, what'd you do? She's like, the People Mover. I'm like, okay, you're not gonna like that unless you're a theme park nerd. And then she's like, we did the Monsters Inc. laugh thing. I'm like, yeah, that's not what I would recommend. But it's like, you know, didn't do any like Space Mountain, Thunder Mountain, or any of the cool stuff, you know, that I would recommend to somebody who's not like a Disney nerd. And it's like the only worst thing she could have said is like Carousel Progress. It's like I love that stuff because I'm a nerd, but like I could help you plan a trip to like find what you're into. But it makes me crazy. It's like my family too. When I went to Disney World when I was 13, my mom and my stepdad did no research into anything, and it showed. I think we did maybe 2 or 3 attractions. We went at the worst time of the year. It was like right before Christmas. Everything was like a 3-hour wait. Universal was the worst. We waited 4 hours for the Shrek 4D experience, and it was like a 10-minute long 3D movie because my mom and stepdad didn't know what any of the stuff was. So and this is not like pre-internet. Like you could have Googled to see what any of this stuff was. I did get to do Back to the Future. That was the only other attraction I did all day. So I did get to do Back to the Future before they turned it into The Simpsons, which was cool. But it's like you're spending thousands of dollars to take your family on this trip and you're not going to like do a Google search to see what any of the stuff is before you go. That's crazy. That is insane to me. I don't get it. Because like it's not for everyone. Maybe Google and see if you even want to do it or not. Like if none of it's for you, then don't waste your money and go to like Busch Gardens or something. Like there's other stuff to do in Central Florida. Craziness. Because the older I get, I don't have any interest really in going back to Magic Kingdom except to do the Snow White Seven Dwarves Mine Train because I haven't done that yet. But that's like the only reason I would go back to Magic Kingdom. I don't really care about the rest of it. I just want to go to like, I want to do the stuff at Epcot I haven't done. The like Guardians roller coaster looks cool. I want to go back to Animal Kingdom because I love Expedition Everest and I like the vibe of Animal Kingdom. But like I'm good on Magic Kingdom, man. But I would have fun planning a trip for somebody who's bringing their family to Magic Kingdom and didn't know what anything was. I'll help you. I'll let you know what all the stuff is. I'll give you an honest assessment of whether I think you'd like it or not. You know? You never been to the parks, but you're a Disney nerd. Do you watch a lot of the theme park videos and stuff like that, like Defunct Land and all those guys? Because honestly, that gives you a lot of information. It's like pretty good overview of like what the parks are like, in my opinion. Been there once long ago. Well, if you do go, if you ever do plan on going to any of the parks for any reason, please just Google what the stuff is to see if you're going to like it or not. Because you'll waste so much money and so many hours of your life waiting for something, and then you'll get off the attraction and be like, that was such a waste of my time, you know? Like, don't do that to yourself. Why would you torture yourself like that, you know? I'm going to do him right before he starts getting hooves. I think I'm going to keep his shoes like they have in this rough here. I don't want to spend too much time on Pinocchio, but I do want to get the basic gist of a sketch down. You know what I mean? To do right by whoever it was that requested Disney's Pinocchio. I don't remember who requested it. The War on the Purple Dragon. Yeah, maybe one day Figment will get a good attraction again. Yeah. We'll see. I remember hearing so much about Figment. Like, I didn't know anything about, like, Epcot or Figment or whatever. When I worked at Disney, they assigned me to be the custodian at Epcot. I didn't know anything about Figment, Journey into Imagination, any of it. But I went on the ride because it only had a 5-minute wait and it was my day off. And I'm like, well, why not? And it was so bad. And I'm like, this is what people care about. And then I had to research online, like, oh, the ride used to be good. It used to be really charming and sweet and like had a good message about imagination, and now it just kind of sucks. Like, oh, well. Way to fumble it, guys. What is the proportion of his head to his body? I guess it doesn't matter if it's super accurate, but the Duffy stuff is really, really cute. Yeah, I'm into the Duffy stuff. You're more nerd about the movies and stuff. That's cool too. I'm into like there's some pretty good documentaries about like the Disney Renaissance era of movies. I love all that stuff. My favorite Disney animator of all time is Milt Kahl, who's responsible for Medusa in The Rescuers, Shere Khan the tiger in Jungle Book. Like, just the Milt Kahl head swaggle, if you YouTube that if you're not familiar, which if you're a Disney nerd you probably are, but the fact that he was the only animator that could do stuff like that, like the skill level of the 9 old men is just like out of this world. It's like unbelievable amount of skill. It's like unfathomable talent. I remember almost being in tears. I went to like there's the Disney Family Museum in San Francisco, which if you ever get out to San Francisco and you haven't done that yet, if you're a Disney nerd, I think you'll really love it. You think it's just going to be like, because the front of it, at least when I was there, it was like letters to and from like Roy Disney and Walt Disney and like family memorabilia. It's very like stodgy like museum stuff. I'm like, all right. And then you get deeper into the museum and it's more about the history of the animation. And I'm like, okay, this is cool. And they have this whole segment of pencil test animation from Snow White. It's like 3 minutes long, or like it's several minutes long, this chunk of animation that they show. And then they're like, yeah, it was just scrapped. And it like almost made me burst into tears because it's like the amount of time and care and labor and like research and just like, oh my God, all of that just to hit the cutting room floor. It was just like, holy cow. It's amazing. It's just really, like, gives me chills. Like, not to be a nerd, but like, those animators were just like unfathomably skilled. And like, there are skilled animators today. I'm not going to be one of those people that's like, animation sucks now. Like, it's different. It's a different kind of era with digital, but like, there's nothing like the knowledge that there was people who understood like anatomy well enough to like turn things in 3D using just pencil and paper and a camera. Like, that's nuts. It's really, really beautiful. It's like an artisanal, I don't know, anything handcrafted versus like done with a computer. I draw with a computer. I'm doing it right now. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. And there's beautiful digital animation too, but there's just something about the old stuff that's really like gives me the chills. It's amazing. I want to know who the heck was obsessed with Honey I Shrunk Thinkorsworth. Naki. Honey I Shrunk the Kids, I never got to do because when I worked at Epcot, they had replaced it temporarily with the Michael Jackson Captain EO thing because he had just passed away like the year prior. And Captain EO was cool, so I can't talk smack about Honey I Shrunk the Kids because I never experienced it. But in concept, it sounds really stupid. Snow White, she looked more like Betty Boop due to the crossover of animators, but they thought she was too sexy, so that's why she got like no eyelashes and a peasant skirt. That's interesting. I didn't actually know that, but that totally tracks. Like, they didn't want her to be like seductive. They wanted her to be this innocent, pure thing. That's so interesting. She's 14, but we don't talk about it. Well, she doesn't do anything really explicit in the movie, so I guess it's okay that she's 14, but like kind of sus of the prince, right? How old was the prince? Do we know, or is it not really stated anywhere? Because if the prince was like 15, 16, that's like, it's kind of cute. If he's like 35, we got problems. We're just going to clean this up real quick and then move on to the next sketch. But yeah, the Disney Family Museum in San Francisco, if you ever get a chance. Highly, highly recommend. It's amazing. Oh, he's got a tail too, duh. Let me just quickly add a tail in. Actually, I want to make it look like kind of scared. Like he doesn't quite have a grasp on how to use this thing yet because it's brand new. But I want it to look kind of frazzled. Something like that. Maybe like turn it this away. Something like that. Yeah. 15 or 16, but they both look like adults. Some say 18, some say 31, so... Alright, let's just say he's 16, so it's kind of charming, you know, it's kind of cute. It's like young love, you know, that's fine. Because they don't do anything wild in the movie, he just puts a kiss on her while she's unconscious, but like, whatever. We don't talk about that either, do we? It's fine. It's a fairy tale. It's fine. Let's talk about how they didn't do the faithful Little Mermaid adaptation where she, like, despairs and returns to sea foam and dies at the end. Where's that movie, Disney? I want to see that. Alright, this isn't my finest sketch, but it like gets the point across. And it is Disney's Pinocchio, so to whoever requested it, I hope you're happy. Florian also thought Snow White was literally dead when he kissed her. Yeah, I was gonna say she was unconscious, but he's like, here's my chance, score. Yeah, all the fairy tales were like that. All the fairy tales were kind of like dark and grim and weird, and that's just kind of the thing with them, huh? It's fine. It's like everybody's freak out about the Pokemon story where he has like a child bride or whatever, and it's like, this just sounds like ancient folklore with just a Pokemon swapped in. Like, it's not that serious. But I'm sure that's why they vetted it and were like, hey, this is gonna come across weird, so maybe let's just not put this in the games. You know, I think there was innocent intentions there. It just comes across really awkward. It doesn't fit with modern storytelling, so maybe let's not go back to the creepy, weird folklore style. Alright, yeah, this is not my finest sketch. I'm trying not to get too many tangent lines where they run into each other like that, but it's gonna be rough. That's fine. I want to move on to a different sketch, but I want to give this one my best effort here. The book is 20 times worse. Dwarves are so shocked they drop her in the piece of apple, free her from asking her up. Oh, look, she's alive now, yeah. It's literally the actual myth the Pokemon is based on, just with the Pokemon name in there. Yeah, exactly. That's what it read like to me, too. When I didn't even know that it was an actual myth. It read like an old folklore type of story. I was like, okay, I think people are probably making a mountain out of a molehill here, but like, I get why it was cut as well, so like, guys, it's not that serious. Now we need a Pokemon story where they just turn into sea foam and die in the sea or whatever. That's all I remember from the like folklore Little Mermaid. Is that she returns to the ocean as foam. And that was my favorite Disney movie growing up, Little Mermaid. We're just going to really simplify these shoes here to ignore the fact that I don't know what's going on with them at this angle. But don't tell anyone. Shh. Don't tell anyone that I don't know what I'm doing. Nobody can know my secret. That I'm just winging it and having fun here. Also, does anybody, the two people that are here, do you have any more requests you'd like to throw into the pile? If not, I have a whole bunch of them I gotta work through anyway. So, no worries if nothing's coming to mind this evening. But the list is shrinking every time I do one, so your odds of getting your request are higher. And I had a couple friends of mine throw in their ideas too, so maybe one of theirs will pop up. Puck, that is enough, yeah. Loxton Noggin has a good video about it. Never heard of it. I never heard of that channel, rather. I'll add that to my to-watch list later. After I get done sketching Pinocchio here, I'll put a note of it on my my sticky note. That's adjacent to the one where I keep my list of sketch request ideas. For random stuff people recommend to me. Alright, I'm just going to color in the hair and call it a day, I think, on this one. I got no strings to hold me down. And then I want to make the eyes look decent, and then we're going to call it. Just do a little iris. There we go. We're going to call Pinocchio Finito. Let me try to slide him up to the middle of the screen, because it looks different on my end than your end. There we go. How do we feel about poor tortured Pinocchio? I'll take a drink from my thing here, and then we'll re-roll for the next sketch. PokeTube remix videos about lore and origins of Pokemon. Cool, cool, cool. You already did kicks. Well, yeah, if you got any more requests, though, throw them on the pile. Let me add that to my rec list here. Oops, wrong sticky note. Wrong part of this sticky note. I have two sticky notes, and the one is for just everything everybody I talk to recommends to me. And it's a long list. I get through it when I feel like it. Where is it? Loxton Noggin Pokemon lore. Loxton Noggin Poke lore. Cool. I'll look that up, and I'll put YouTube at the end so I know what it is. Alright. Let's see. Alright, with no other requests in the list, I'm just going to roll the ones I got. Where is that random list picker thing I just had open? Random list picker. Thank you, Google, for always knowing what I want. Let me take Pinocchio off the list, because I just did him. Did I take him off the list on my end as well? Looks like it. Alright. Let's roll. Ready? What do we get? Cocoa Pops Australia. I don't know what this looks like. The Australian has left the chat, but I'm curious. I might roll again and save that for next time when the Australian is back with us. But I want to see what this mascot looks like. Cocoa Pops Australia mascot. Well, that's just the monkey that we have here. Is he different than... No, he's the same guy. At least Google's showing me the same monkey. Well, the Australian has left, so I'm not going to do that one until the Australian is back. So let's roll again, shall we? I'm not going to remove it from the list. Let's re-roll. King Owl House. Okay. Surprisingly, I have not seen Owl House. I hear nothing but good about it. It looks very good. I just have not seen it. But let me look up this character. King. He's cute. Okay. I like the dog collar. The one with the oversized tie is a cute pose too. But it looks like he's mainly wearing like the dog collar in like 90% of the ref I see. Patamon from Digimon? Yeah, I'll add that to the list. You know what? Since you're one of the only people watching, maybe I'll do that anyway. Let me make a note of the ones I'm not doing right now that were spun, to be fair, for next week perhaps. King Owl House. I'll put a star next to. And then Cocoa Pops Australia. So those are pre-spun for next week, let's put it that way. And I'll remove them from the actual list. Let's do Patamon since you're here. That seems right. Why not? King's a cutie. Let's do Patamon first and then King, because I don't know who requested King. But the Australian Cocoa Pops, seems right to wait for the Australian to be back here. And they already left. So let's look up Patamon. I don't know anything about Digimon, by the way, so this will be fun. Very cute little fella, though. Yeah, we'll do King after Patamon, and that should round out the evening pretty nicely. Depending on how fast I draw. Because Patamon is cute, but also very simple, which I like. I like cute little critters. Owl House is really good. Gay Witches. Yeah, I've heard nothing but praise for Owl House on Twitter. It looks very pretty and good. Let's do a new 10x10. Honestly, the list only has... Sorry if I bumped into the mic there. The list currently has... Let me do a count here. ...24 items on it. So it's not a very long list currently. So I don't mind doing a request for somebody that's actually here in the chat. You know? That's alright. Let me pull up this ref nice and big alongside the chat so I can see what people are saying. Beautiful. Been your favorite since you were a kid? Aw. You little cutie. I like his teeny little fingers and toes. I'm just going to go with my gut for the pose. I'm going to start with, he's got this beautiful little beanbag kidney bean body going on. A chubby little cheek. I'm going to do bigger than actual ref eyes. Actually, the eyes are pretty large, so maybe I can go a little bit bigger. Actually, in my mind's eye, I'm going to try something really quick. I imagine him sitting. Just the beanbagness of the body is really cute. Just imagine him sitting like an Animal Crossing character under a tree or something with his little feeties up like that. That's cute. Just relaxing. Little fella needs to relax too. I'll do that really quick. Or do we want, let's see, curl up like a cute little hamster? Or do we want like staring longingly at the sky, like triumphantly? Because I don't know what the vibe of Digimon is, if it's a little bit more serious than Pokemon or if it's sillier. Because I didn't grow up watching or playing Digimon. I only know about Pokemon through osmosis and playing a couple of the games, like, but I wasn't into the trading card game really, and I didn't watch a ton of the show or the movies, but something like, you know, hopefully looking up to the sky for like B, or like cute little fat hamster under the tree like A. What are we feeling? It gives me an excuse to take a drink of my drink too, because it tastes good. What are we most feeling tonight? Because if Digimon's like the more adult, mature Pokemon, maybe B, something a little bit more like going on a journey or something, I don't know, hopeful. You're kind of digging the fat hamster. All right, let's rock with the fat hamster pose. Thank you for that. It was a great excuse to choke on my drink there as well. All right. Let's do fat hamster pose. We're going to get funky with the wing shape because I like how it kind of envelops, like the curve is kind of the same here. I'm into that as an idea. And then we'll make the bottom a little bit flatter so it's like his butt is really smooshed out on the ground like a little beanbag. You know what is really funny to me but also grosses me out is when like hamsters unload all the stuff that's in their cheeks. It's like equal parts disgusting and hilarious to me in a way that I can't think of for anything else. Something that's as cute and stupid and funny as it is kind of disgusting to watch. It's like it's not meant to be gross. They're just like getting rid of their hoard of stuff in their cheeks. You know, their stash. It's just so gross to watch. The slow march of going back to mascot fast food has started. I've seen more mascots in general and more retro design, like the Mountain Dew logo has been redone to be like modernized but harkening back to that retro look. And then I got a box of Captain Crunch the other day that was like retro style Captain Crunch, and then the Monster cereals for a few years have been doing the retro boxes. So I'm seeing a lot more interest in like old school graphic design in general. And that tends to be, more mascot heavy. So very exciting times for me. If I had any desire to sit and do scripted YouTube videos again, it would be kind of fun to revisit Mascot Snapshot as like, I've thought about it. I think the Mascot Snapshot videos would actually work really well as like TikTok or YouTube like shorts formats, because you can cram a lot of information into like a minute. I was thinking about that, to like just do the same videos I've done but just like bite size, like here's the evolution of this design of this mascot in like a minute. Other people have done it, I'm sure, but like, you know, whatever. Add it to the list of stuff I say I'm gonna do one day and then just don't do. But if I start seeing like mascots really popping off, maybe that'll give me inspiration, you know? Every year I say I'm going to start selling art prints and then I just don't. Like, I can't make promises like that, you know? So you can't wait for the clown to return. Oh, for Ronald McDonald. He does digivolve into a little angel, just a dude, so the other works too. But Patamon is very baby, so I like cute images of him. Digimon is hard to explain. It's kind of its own thing then. It's just like it's like Pokemon, but it's not at all. Its own unique kind of energy. I respect that. And this guy is baby. I'll give him that. This is Big Hamster Baby. Little feety weeties. I want to make sure these wings are more or less the same size, but I don't want to have too much wing loss behind the body. It's kind of tricky. I want a nice silhouette, you know? So I'll make this as big as it can get without, sorry about tapping the mic there, without intercepting the foot. Maybe, ooh, this solves it. If I bring the foot more into the body. Makes him look chubbier as a bonus. And I get a little bit more room for that wing. And I want it to kind of match the curve of the body. There we go. I want them to be more or less the same size. And then I kind of want to exaggerate and squash these shapes out a little bit. So it looks a little bit too much like the ref, and I want to put my own little spin on it a little bit. I like this cheek even chubbier, a little pointier, like that. I'm trying to understand how the shape works. So like this, and then like this, something like that. So yeah. It's really not. Pokemon is like cat evolves to bigger cat. Digimon is like dog evolves to cat, evolves to angel, evolves to dragon. Also a lot of this evolves into this, except when this, but also sometimes this. It sounds interesting. Yeah, it's always lame when it's just like cat evolves into bigger cat, huh? People complain when like the cat Pokemon evolve into like the bipedal, like anthropomorphic cat guy, but I prefer that to like cat just becomes bigger cat. Like kitten becomes adult cat. Okay, great. But I guess maybe cat becomes man with two legs with a cat head has been done too many times and people are sick of it. I don't know. This one is much bigger on this side than this one. I want them to be more or less the same. They don't have to be identical, but like close enough, you know? Then I'm going to really squish this chubbiness out this way, like that. Like that. A little line on the tummy. Silly question, but does this guy have a favorite food that he would be holding in his little paws here? If not, I'll just leave them empty like he's just enjoying sitting and being a fat little hamster. But if he has a favorite food, I could add it in. Lots of frozen Digimon belts, jorts, guns. Jorts. Cat turns into furry, yeah. The art styles are different. Yeah. Digimon you can tell is Digimon. Like it's similar to it's Pokemon flavored, but it's not like rip off Pokemon. It's got its own thing going. Give him a meat on a bone. Oh, like the classic like hold on, let me doodle in the corner here to see if I'm on like the classic like delicious hunk of cartoon meat kind of thing. This kind of deal. Maybe a couple stripes on it. That's two Flintstones with the stripes on it, but just like hunk of meat with bone. Because if that's the vibe, I'll do that. Yes. Meat that grows on trees in Digimon. Here, I'll put it on a new layer in case I'm wrong. And I'll have his little paws grab onto it. There's a scene with him having a juice pouch. Ooh, that's even cuter. I do like the cartoon meat, but let me look up Patamon juice pouch right now. I need to see this right now. Because that sounds really cute. Is it like a classic juice box shape, would you say? Or more like a Capri Sun? Because I searched up Patamon juice pouch and Google is not helping me. Let's try Bing or something. Sometimes Bing knows what I'm talking about. Looks like a Capri Sun. I'm just seeing if any like Google or Bing has anything for me. No, I'll do a Capri Sun style juice pouch then, because that sounds cute. And it'll fit better in between his hands. Though I do enjoy drawing a cartoon meat, because I think it's cute. Let's do a little juice pouch. And then you can tell me if I'm on the right track or not. Patamon eating, it should be the second image. Thank you. Alright. Patamon eating. I just looked up Patamon juice box and it wasn't helping me. Oh, I see. Yeah, it is kind of like a Capri Sun or like a like the Go-Go squeeze fruit things that like my niece is really into. That's so cute. And he's got a little cheek too. That's so cute. Okay, let's do that. Let's merge this down onto the main layer. That is so cute. It's got a squishy little look to it too. Let's move this down a smidge. I'm just going to put the number 2 on it, simplify it, because there's some Japanese text on there as well, but we don't have time for all that today. It gets the idea across that it's the same juice. I want it to pinch out at the sides and then in where he's squeezing it. Move that hand in a little bit. Put a little bit more force on the sides of it to squeeze it in. Okay, it's really messy, but I know what it's supposed to be, so I'm going to clean that up. It's eating a Lunchable. Aw, not a Feastable. He rolls on his back to eat it. Aw. Oh, and in the screenshot you can see he's got a stubby little tail too. And this other ref I was looking at, he doesn't have a tail because the angle I'm looking at. He has like a fat little hamster tail from this. That is so cute. I didn't even know until I looked up that picture. He's so cute. Stubby little hamster tail. I'm gonna just wiggle and jiggle this bottom part here real quick. want to squeeze the whole thing in just a smidge. Oops. Like this. There we go. He looks like a little orb. I want to make it even more orb-like. There. It's got this beautiful little, like, egg shape around the whole thing. This delightful little orb. And then I want to make the eyes a little taller. Have a little bit more eyelash on top, even though there's, like, lined, like, liner all the way around. This is pretty on model, but, I mean, come on, he's so cute. Can you blame me? He's got a little stubby tail. That Terriermon. Him and my good boy. Let me look up both of these right now. Terriermon. Aww. He's cute. Lopmon. Yeah, they're both cute. I like their big slappy ear hands. Very cute. But yeah, his fat little hamster tail. Come on. How can you not have a cuteness overload with a fat little tail? It's so cute. Oh, and in the ref he's got like a little cheek too, so I want to do that. Just like a little baby cheek. That looks pretty cute. Okay. Now that we have this big, beautiful boy, we're going to refine it on a new layer. I'm going to keep the cartoon meat up here just for fuel for the rest of it. They're twins, except Terriermon is supposed to be a rabbit-like dog, and Lopmon is supposed to be a dog-like rabbit. That's funny. Sorry if that was super loud. Alright, let's get this dry ink brush. And we'll do black and white for now, because I do want to do that King from Owl House sketch before I take off out of here. Because I have some work I have to do this evening as well. Otherwise I'd stay all night. But we could revisit this one and do color next week. If it's another slow chill stream like this where it's like 2 people, I could just do final art of this one too. It'd be a cute piece. I still haven't posted Trubbish on my social media yet. I don't know. I don't know why I'm so bad. Like, I'll finish this whole piece and really like it and then just not post. I don't know what's wrong with me. I did post Phantom and Pumpkaboo for Halloween, so I did that, but I've just been horrible about, like, I finish these pieces on stream and I think they come out really good and then I just don't post. The older I get, the more I get exhausted by the idea of, like, doing anything on social media that's not, like, scrolling and just reading other people's stuff. It's crazy. Like, it genuinely took, not a lot out of me, but something out of me to make a tweet saying, hey, I'm going live in 15 minutes. I can stream for 3 hours. I don't have a problem with that, but, like, doing the tweet promoting the stream is like, do I have to? Like, ugh. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous of me. If I had money, I would just pay somebody to do it, to be honest. Here, somebody run my social media for me, please. That's what it's all about. I need to get better clients and contracts so I can hire somebody to run my socials for me because I cannot be bothered. Please, someone make Instagram stories and stuff out of this and TikToks. Help me. Let's see. Better version of them, Knockable and Chop. Oh yeah, about Feastables. Padawan also has a cute bum like a corgi. Aw. Do I have a favorite animal? Yes, I love river otters. Those are my favorite animals. I love all otters, but specifically I'm really into like just the standard. I don't know if it's the North American river otter. I guess I have to Google it, but because the Asian river otters have like smaller little faces, but just your run of the mill, I guess European river otter. I'm not sure. Big fan of all otters, and I also like runner up lately really into rockhopper penguins because I was thinking about Hopper from Animal Crossing, and I was thinking how I always got bummed out when I go to the penguin houses at the zoo and there wouldn't be any rockhoppers. I'm not there to see the emperor penguins or anybody else. I'm there to see the funny little guys with their little yellow eyebrows. They're so cute. So big fan of them. And when I was a little kid, my answer would have been any kind of bat. But especially the big giant fruit bats that look like flying foxes. I was really into bats as a kid. Helped my dad build bat houses for the side of the house, which is the best thing ever. If you live somewhere where you get a bunch of mosquitoes and you do not already have bat houses, go buy or build some and put them on the side of your house right now, because you will never see another mosquito again on your property. They're the best thing ever. I love bats, yeah. I love a vampire bat. I love a little basic North American brown bat. They're so good. They're so cute. I love their little squeaks when they come out at night, when they leave the bat house, and you can hear them all squeaking and chirping and stuff. Cute, cute, cute. It's fun to watch them take off at night, too. Just when the sun's starting to set, they just all take off for the night and eat all the bugs on your property. It's awesome. I love pretty much all animals. Same. Like, I don't have many animals that I don't like. I'm not big on horses, but, like, I respect them. I think I'm just afraid of horses. Like, riding a horse terrifies me. Being around a horse because it can just kick me in the head. Like, no thank you. Cassowary, scary. Like, anything that could and would love to kill me, I think. Animals with bloodlust and hate in their heart. Maybe just hate. I don't think horses lust for blood, but I think they would like to kick you in the head. But, like, to be fair, if I was a horse, I'd probably love to kick somebody. I think that would feel really good. So, like, no judgment. I'm afraid of horses. They're beautiful, but terrifying. And it's like, there are scarier animals on Earth, but am I more likely to run into a great white shark or a horse? Like, I'm more likely to, in my day-to-day life, encounter a horse. So they're scarier. You used to have one that hung out of your high school when you were in school. It was basically a hamster with wings. Oh, bats? Yeah. They're such little cutie pies. I like the ones that look like... Here, I'm going to doodle real quick. I think it's just an American brown bat where it's just this big bunch of fuzz. You can barely see the eyes because it's hidden under the fuzz. And here's the little nose. And there's little teeth. The eyes are just these little dots that are like hidden under the fluff. And they're just squeaky like that. And they crawl like... just little fellas. But it's like a big tuft of hair. And just a nose. I don't know. I think they're so cute. Very bad drawings, but like you get the... I'll leave them there for now. Let's see. Is it even showing? Yeah, there we go. I forget that like it's slightly lower, the OBS versus what I see. Here, I'm going to use this as an excuse to drink my drink. They're just sky puppies, yeah. And the giant fruit bats are so, so beautiful, I think. The Indian ones. Here, I'm going to put these on a new layer. It's for my own amusement. Angels of the Rats, the bats. Yeah, rat angels. I love that little comic. It's so cute. They're such good little guys. And I don't know if I feel like I've told all my stories I've ever told before in my life on stream, but whatever. Because it's related to bats. When we did have bat houses, and a lot of bats at the log cabin house that my dad lived in years ago. They lived kind of in this like little bit of like the rafters of the log house outside, and they would poop a lot on the porch, which you'd think would be kind of like a pain in the butt to deal with. But my dad would scoop it up and like sell it to people because it's like really good fertilizer, bat guano. So they were like kind of profitable to have around too. He had buddies that would buy it off him for whatever totally illegal thing they were growing in their backyard, you know. It's good quality fertilizer, so they're great little guys. And that house was, sorry, it feels like my lips are peeling off. Not me checking my face in the OBS camera. Looks fine. My lipstick's just peeling off because I've been yapping for hours. We lived in like the middle of the woods at that place, just completely surrounded by trees and right on a lake too. Never had a bug bite because the bats were just everywhere and they ate everything. So, cannot recommend bat houses enough. You drew Patamon as a Pokemon a couple months ago for a contest. That sounds cute. Oops. What's not closed in here? What am I missing? Where's the gap? Oh, it's over here. There's the gap. I'm gonna go erase the eye here. And this is just gonna be grayscale for this evening, but I want to put a little more effort into this one than the Pinocchio one. Excuse me. Let's fill in this wing ear thing as well. Then I'll do some white shines on the eyes. And that'll be it for this evening on this one. I'll hide all these other silly layers that don't have anything to do with Patamon. We'll do a dark gray on the little fingers and toes. Whoops. Little toesy woesies. And a little highlight. Maybe I'll put a light gray or something in the eye to make this part more visible. There we go. What a happy little fella. Let's do the stripe here too. Alright, let me put him front and center. And then one more thing I want to do highlights with the eraser here. Just to give it a little something something in grayscale. I like a little highlight moment. Think it looks cool. All right. How do we feel about this little bundle of joy? Let me sip my thing here. And then let me pull up that ref of King from Owl House again. And that'll be the last one I do for the evening. Patamon, my beloved. I will post this one on Twitter tomorrow. If I don't, feel free to harass me. That way you can save it for whatever reason if you want to. Let's open King. I like this front-facing pose as well. So let's get these two side by side. Ooh. Don't freeze on my computer. I don't have that many windows open. Chill. You can do this. All right. Peace out. He chunk. All right. Well, if it's just us two, I'm going to do a real quick sketch of King from Owl House and then probably call it. And then maybe I'll come back to it next week. You know? But I do want to do 3 sketches because I think that's a nice amount to do in an evening. And now that I already have the ref open, I might as well, right? Even if it's just me talking to myself. I like the front view. Let's actually do this like rougher or like softer brush for the sketching. Get some nice big shapes in. I like this front view. I can get kind of funky with it. Maybe I'll just keep it real loosey-goosey and then come back to it next week, you know? But this is a cute character. But real loose and goose. Loose and goose. Don't know what that means, but we keep the neck in between where the teeth are just to make it more visible. He's got this big medal that says, I don't know, we're just going to make it a medal right now. I don't have time for this right now. This can be a problem for next week, perhaps. Let me just loosely figure out a pose or something for this. So I'm digging this character. Some interesting shapes to play with here. I like cross-eyed, but it's a little too wonky cross-eyed. Maybe like that. I like this like triangle pose. This is a little bit too much like the ref, but I don't mind. I'm just trying to figure the character out here. Oh, it's just 2 little claws for the foot, I think. Yeah, 2 on each foot. And then there's some tufts of fur on the other ref, but I kind of want to keep it simple and just keep the legs like this on this one. Animal Crossing OC, as I told you about. Yeah, I mean, email me. We're contact form on alyssaaaron.com. Should work too. That just bounces to my email, so either works. Send it all my way. I want to take a look. If you remember. I totally get it if you don't. I don't remember to post my own art to my own social media 90% of the time, as previously discussed, so no worries. But if you feel so inclined and remember, shoot it to me, or just say hello on the contact form. If it doesn't let you send images on the contact form, but just like say, hey, it's me. If if my email's not on the website, I think it's just alyssaaaronart@gmail.com though. But it's easier to remember to tell people. Yeah, just use the contact form. It'll bounce to my email, and then I'll email you back and say hey, and then you'll have my email. a little tail. Working on a bunch of them before my old laptop worked. I just can't link here, so you said, yeah. I forget what I talked about last stream. I forget what I talked about 5 minutes ago. It's totally fine. I'm going to tilt this head just a smidge more to make room for this hand pointing the other way. Ugh, my pencil keeps bumping into the mic. It doesn't make a loud noise when I do that, by the way. I've apologized for it a few times, but I can't hear on my end what it sounds like. So when I go like this, is that like crazy loud? I'm just curious. This is just the same as the ref, but figuring out the shapes of the character here. The thumb has like no big white claw on it, but the hand has 2 big claw fingers. He's got like an underbite in the one ref, but in the other one it's like actually teeth coming off of the skull, which I like better. So I'm kind of combining the two reference images I'm looking at. And it looks like he's got a break in the one horn where it's totally broken in the one ref, and then in the other it's like a line like he got it reattached or something. I don't know what the lore is there because I have not seen Owl House, but so I'm not sure which is accurate. Or if it's like Garnet from Steven Universe where her appearance changes like multiple times over the course of the show, you know. It's like a knocking sound. It's not super quiet either. No, that's good. I'm just glad it's not like ear shattering. You know what I mean? I'm just glad it's not ruining everybody's good time. Cause I jump scared everyone on accident one week. I don't know if you were here for that or not, but like the email sound on Mac, because I just got an email randomly on stream and I hadn't closed the mail app like I normally do. It was just like ding. And somebody in the chat said it was incredibly loud, so I felt bad about it. And since then I've been, or my phone buzzing on my desk, or like, you know, I'm getting better about like not screwing up stuff like that. I feel like I'm still beginning streaming, you know, because I'm not good at self-promo or figuring out a schedule or yada yada, but this is all good. It's me getting the hang of doing this thing, you know, before I figure out how frequent I want to be and if I want to make videos and yada yada. But it's fun. For now, it's just a fun thing to do on the weekend. Draw some stuff that's not for clients and chit chat. Both horns are accurate with or without lore things. Got it. Alright, I think actually this is 9 o'clock here, 10 o'clock Eastern. This is normally when I stop, right? 7:30 to 10? Yeah. This is about it. Alright, so let me review what I've done tonight for you. Recap. I like doing a recap of everything I did. So this is a very, very, very rough sketch that I might refine next week and figure out like a more interesting pose, but I'm figuring out the shapes of the character. Of course, Patamon with the juice box, or with the juice, go squeeze. We have a very sad Pinocchio turning into a donkey. And then I also made lots of progress on the Bloomaroo, which will be part of the stream starting soon graphic. I'm going to work a little bit on this off stream to finish it off because there's like a bunch of little things I want to do, but I don't want to waste an hour doing it next week, so I'll just do it in my own time. And with that, it is the 25th anniversary of Neopets.com, so happy birthday, Neopets. In celebration, here's a Bloomaroo. Maybe I'll post this tomorrow as like a belated birthday thing. I don't know. But harass me if I do not post your little Patamon hamster guy tomorrow on Twitter as well, because I want you to be able to right click and save if you want. And with that, happy birthday, Neopets. Thanks anybody who watched the stream. Thanks anybody who watches the replay on YouTube for any reason, even if it's just background noise. I appreciate it. And I will see you all next week. I'm going to say peace and then awkwardly stand here with a peace sign until I see myself on the other end. So I know I'm not cutting myself off.